Hello everyone, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies. Hello.
Good morning.
How you doing, Topsy?
I'm good. Showed up last minute.
Yeah.
I didn't plan to be here, but it's been an eventful couple of days. So I was here on Monday, my mom's birthday, and then yesterday my twins' birthday. And
so
my baby was begging me, Mommy, can I have one more birthday? Can I have one more? Like Samuel, he's done his own in March, but because he's seeing
everybody,
he wants to have one more birthday, and I'm like, how it feels like to be a young,
what did you do for your mom's
baby.
birthday?
Oh, Mommy, we just did photo shoots. We couldn't pull anything off, but then we did. She likes barbecue chicken, so we got chicken and like grilled it up for her, which she really liked. And I was like, she can eat it as many as she wants to. She just will eat it on her birthday.
If you don't mind my curiosity, who is marrying your dad while your mom is with you?
They agreed amongst themselves. No, my daddy is not with me.
Oh.
Yes, daddy is at home alone with a little boy that stays with them. And my mom and dad had an agreement. My mommy went home to convince my dad to stay back and, you know, manage the essentials they are selling because she knows my mom sells essentials, and they didn't want to shut down completely because people in the neighborhood need the essentials that they are providing. So they had an agreement, and we cooked a bunch of food and took to meet Grandpa at home, you know. So I think I'll call Grandpa today, and I'll call him after the show and just check on him.
You don't know, you don't understand the circle.
I don't understand, but I
laugh. You will do it for your children as well. So,
so I'll go and work for them.
At some point, Mr. Mark will have to sit alone. I'm fine. It was Freddie's birthday yesterday, and I got the message late.
Our Freddie.
Our Freddie.
Freddie that does the work for us.
Happy
birthday, Freddie.
Happy Freddie.
Many more fruitful years, Freddie. And I'm just doing my charity work. Now my mouth have put me in trouble. Everybody thinks I want to go and share food. I want to keep sharing food. Yes, I love people to get food, but I don't want to do the work. I don't want to stand in the middle. So Tosin called yesterday, Fajin message this morning. Everybody want to share food. Please don't be calling me.
I think it's important. I mean, thank God we're not announcing the ones we're doing, because it's important that we just reach out to those in the community. Everybody, they're mechanics on your streets, they're poor people who you know that need this. Because I've recently discovered that those who are posting on social media actually were not the ones that don't target market for these palliatives. For whatever reason, you are diverting what was meant for poor people to yourself, and then you're doing videos maliciously. So the objective of the palliative are for people who cannot at all.
We'll be grateful for the one cup.
Because there are people who got it and we're actually grateful. I was privileged to be able to see one or two families that got this and they were actually happy. So what we are seeing on social media, for me sometimes, is drawn out of proportion and it's just and dramatized just for
there are some honest cases, reasons. But a lot mischievous cases. Some honestly are confused about how they'll share 3 bags for the entire street. As a CDA chairman, if they give you 3 bags, the street will think you collected only your own.
Exactly.
So then that's resulted in videos and videos. Right. So if they're properly done, we don't have to get to that point. And but there are some mischievous ones just going around trying to get food.
We got reports of some people, some leaders within parties getting some of these palliatives, and he's returning it saying, "Excuse me, it's not meant for me."
Yes.
How you know? So they were noble enough.
Required to spread round, but other leaders got it and actually shared it. You know, shared it to their people, that because they're the people they call upon. The political leaders will say that I call these guys, they show up for every rally. So when there is food, I must show the food up for them too, as a way to show that I appreciate what you're doing. So there's a whole lot to this.
Don't you guys miss our audience? It's Wednesday.
I really do.
We miss you guys. I know some of them call us up once in a while. I know hopefully by God's grace this goes away soon and we can have our audience. It's Wednesday.
It's 14 days. That's even the next one.
We'll see. Okay, let's go on the break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start with The Nation very quickly. Extension of lockdown not ruled out, says federal government. SGF says Buhari to decide, 16 new cases. 2 trillion naira social investment program a failure, says Lawan Gbajabiamila. Police to arraign Naira Marley PDP chief, others. Anxiety at 67 head for Oshun from Côte d'Ivoire. Who has that story, the Côte d'Ivoire story? You have that?
So, news has broken, and I don't know, The Nation is not disclosing their source, that a 67 group of people are coming in from Côte d'Ivoire heading towards Oshun. They are supposedly being held between the Ghana-Togo border right now, but they're heading this way. Following what happened with the 127 people the other time, the people are raising concerns that how do we know? Shouldn't our borders be on lockdown presently? How do we know exactly the people that, if they are all clear? Somebody checking them before they get here. They are coming through the Diroko again, like the other group. So they're just raising concerns, and I think we should also raise it. Our borders really short. Right. What are the issues exactly? Because the other day, a flight, 2 people now in the papers today are being investigated. 2 pilots are being investigated for having flown a chartered air flight into Rivers State.
Into Rivers.
Yeah, so what exactly is happening with our airports and our border? What is the details? I need the proper breakdown.
Okay,
are there people more equal than the others? I want to take the story, follow up on Naira Marley and...
We'll take it in punch. I was going to talk about the press briefing that happened yesterday. The Presidential Task Force was in Lagos, and one of the questions asked was if there will be needed for an extension. And Boss Mustafa, who is the chairman for the task force, said that it's only dependent on the president, and it's going to be based on the reports he gets from experts on this. So we can't tell right now.
I think they opened the new facility in Lasut. So
they've opened a 60-bed in Luth.
Yesterday too.
60-bed isolation center in Luth. And it's commending Lagos completely for uniform.
All right, moving on to the punch. Fear grips medical workers as Luth UITH isolate 40. Police released Naira Marley ex-governor candidate's wife on bail. 5,000 Ekiti residents received federal government's 20,000 naira each, says Fayemi. Boko Haram learned from Chadian president, PDP tells Buhari. Isolation center doctors, others lament 30 million naira unpaid allowances. FG plans mass production of Nigerian-made ventilator and disinfectant device. Chinese doctors arrived today to spend 1 month. Jesus Christ. Government partner states to feed pupils at home. Okay, let's start with the Naira Marley story.
Okay, so Naira Marley and the former gubernatorial aspirant from the Action Democratic Party in Lagos State, that is Babatunde Gbadamosi, and his wife, all of them were arraigned. And upon meeting the bail condition, the trio were released, and they were both detained at the CID, the State Criminal Investigative Intelligence Department in Panti, Yaba, and it was based on the party they attended that was carried out by
the police.
But then the story is they've been released, and they will follow up with the story.
What's Governor Fayemi saying concerning the...
Yes, Fayemi, governor of Ekiti State, Fayemi, has shared to 5,000 residents of Ekiti State 20,000 naira each. This was drawn across the 16 council areas of Ekiti State under the cash transfer scheme targeted at fighting poverty, because they also have restrictions within the state. Beneficiaries receive between 20,000 naira and 60,000 naira each to about 5,000 indigenous people within the state.
Okay, let's talk about this. They arrived today.
They come today. So
how many of them do you know?
They said about 15 of them who arrived today, 15-member medical team, and they are just, here as experts in infectious diseases, respiratory illness, intensive care, cardiology, neurology, against the protest or advice of the opposition or objections of the enemy.
Can we take the enemy protest too? Because the enemy is picking up that 40 of their representatives, doctors and nurses, have been quarantined now. They are...
we're going to take the story.
It's a big story. Moving on to Daily Sun very quickly. Buhari to decide end of lockdown, says PTF. COVID-19, Lagos alleges rise in local transmission. Picture here of air peas have they arrived in Beijing to pick up more relief materials from China. 1,739 foreigners evacuated through Lagos airport. And National Assembly fumes over multi-billion social investment scam. That's an interesting story. I think it was Bajabia Miller and Ahmed Lawan were saying, they actually called the minister to order, saying that she should ask for help. According to the story, they're saying that the requirements to get these monies is for you to go online, provide your BVN, and the target people for these palliatives actually don't have BVNs, neither can they be reached online. So they feel it's going to be a scam if you send out money.
They've spent, Mariah, 12 billion naira has been spent monthly on this scheme. and 100 million naira is paid to an unnamed consultant who's handled some aspects of this program. So they are querying the amount that has been spent and how it has been spent, why it's been spent. Can they give a breakdown?
Yes, there should be
because there's no retracing is challenging.
Since 2016,
the audience, the target people for this are not the ones getting it, obviously, based on this
Since 2016,
investigation.
2 trillion has been spent on this, on the SIP. And the Empower one are still protesting presently that some of them have not gotten paid in the last 3 months.
Exactly.
The Minister for Humanitarian, Sadiya Farouk, has responded that, there's just a bit of delay, they are working on it, but people are still constantly even sending us private messages that they've not gotten paid. So these are, we need to be able to see, we should be transparently
transparent.
done.
That's the thing, transparency.
Should be
I think that
traceable.
if I recall correctly, I think the senator also, the House of, the speaker is also trying to see if we can get a law to back this up so we can actually know how to prosecute those who are actually mismanaging
we can
this.
still bring them under existing laws.
Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. COVID-19, Atiku PDP blasts FG over the $6.9 billion loan bid. We don't know if lockdown will end in 14 days, says SGF, and that's the only story in Vanguard. I think PDP is finally speaking, and I think this is a time where you expect that the opposition would speak, and they've been awfully quiet, but they are obviously saying that they're objecting the loan, the request from the federal government, $6.9 billion. And according to them, it says across the country, people are crying of hunger and hardship occasioned by the lockdown. Food items are not provided. With the way things are going, it may be difficult for this government to implement any development project again. It appears all they're going to be saying is that they've been fighting COVID-19 for the next 2 years.
So why are we not collecting
the money? So why are we calling the money that we know we cannot even pay back? So I know I had mentioned it yesterday also. We keep collecting money.
I think we're all on the same page with this.
We're not thinking how we're going to pay back these monies. We're just saying, oh, COVID-19 is just for people to keep their life.
I think the average Nigerian is on the same page with this because this money will be shared, and our thought is that it will be shared without us seeing the impact of what the money was meant to do.
And in a related story, World Bank has just given us $82 million, I believe.
$82 million.
And according to them, they're saying this money actually was already set aside to support Africa in health area, but they didn't give us over $80 million in the past. But now they're giving us the rest, the balance. They're giving it to us because we have this issue of the pandemic. And I'm thinking,
can we now use it to upgrade all the medical? Can we listen to enemy? Can we listen to enemy?
What I was thinking about yesterday, I said, okay, let's say worst case, God forbid bad thing, we have 10,000 cases, and it costs 1 million naira per person to treat them because each case is about 21 days, right? And it costs 1 million. How much is that? If we calculate it, 100 billion. Now, the billions you're hearing, what are you using it for? If we calculate per COVID-19 patients.
Which is why I said that.
COVID-19 patients, you pay for the electricity, you pay for the ventilator, you pay for the benefits, you pay for the feeding, you pay for everything per patient. How much is it?
And we're still yet to use any ventilator. So it's not as if the ventilator.
So what is this money being used for?
You can't say they're not using it.
No, we're still yet. I said we're still yet.
Is where you're unconscious now. We don't have that case yet.
So my plea is that with this, let's end up better off. Let our health sector be better off than before COVID-19. At least funds is no longer a problem.
And don't forget, there's 500 billion naira that we're trying to get to. So that's minus the $82 million. There's so much money flying around. So that's why
there will be corruption, there will be diversion of funds.
You'll be surprised that
anybody that is
raising dust.
Just know you're spending blood money.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Kwara Governor fumes 6 federal government's probe. 4 feared killed in Kaduna for flouting the stay-at-home order. World Bank releases $82 million support Nigeria. FG Social Investment Program not reaching the poor. We talked about that already. Let's find a story we've not mentioned. Nigerian troops launch attacks on Boko Haram, ISOP insurgents in Borno. And Lagos raises hope for other states to battle coronavirus, says SGF.
There's this very painful story that happened in Kwara State. A consultant, Professor Alakija Kazim Salami, is a professor of medicine, and he's being investigated. Presently, he's been suspended and investigated by the hospital, the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, for what they call unethical act. So what he did was that a friend had coronavirus. He brought the person into the hospital, sneaked the person in for treatment, and after 3 days, the person dies, allows the hospital ambulance to be used to convey the body to Offa for burial. And eventually created a major problem. So now 28 doctors have been isolated by the state, and 75 people have been traced for having come in contact. The entire of our town is on total lockdown, no vehicular movement, nothing.
Because of one person.
Because janaza was done for the dead. He was bathed, robed, and buried.
The normal way.
The normal way. So all of that has cost the state, is going to cost the state a lot of funds, and the governor is very bitter. In fact,
one person, the man knew the medical history, and he also knew the man came in from the UK, and he did not disclose
his medical record was also taken out immediately after. So a lot of unethical things happened.
One educated person.
An educated person. So I think there should be a way to prosecute these kind of things. Because, you know, obviously you're exposing people. This has happened in Luth, in Benin Teaching Hospital, now UIT.
The ones that happened in Luth were individuals that walked in. This man connived to bring in his friend into the hospital, knowing that they would have sent him to Lagos, a better facility for him to be taken care of. But he did this knowing
he came in from Lagos. That's the paper. You know, he just returned, and he came in from Lagos. That's the paper.
So he will be persecuted.
Yes,
but I don't think whatever punishment he would get cannot be compared to the impact this would have on the lives of many people. Hopefully there will be no loss of life from this.
We have to move on, but my only worry, and I was going to ask you that question before we run off, is that Lagos has a law backing up this regulation, but other states may not have what
they have in Kwara State, I can't necessarily call it a law. There's a regulation that's been passed to deal with this. So whether it's an act or
it's not passed by the House of Assembly.
Law of the state.
No, they call it
the contacts.
So it's a decree by the governor, like the one Ekiti did, which is an
executive order.
An executive order.
An executive order.
Okay, let's go on the break. That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'll try to get a few updates on COVID-19. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so before we move into our other topic, we have with us the chairman of Shomolu Local Government, Honorable Abdul Salawu, via phone. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, ma'am.
I was told you wanted to talk to us concerning what our conversation was about yesterday, that specifically in Shomolu Local Government, before the pallets were given, members were asking for party cards. And you wanted to dispel or clarify that for us.
That is correct, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Okay. In our local government, what they said yesterday was absolutely not correct, ma'am.
Okay.
There is no way we will do anything that is against the instruction the state government gave us. So if anybody now calls and says that we were asking them for ID before giving them the.
Okay, let's understand, sir, Honorable. How exactly did you go about it? What exactly did you give, and how exactly did you go about it?
The state government asked us to distribute the package to the statement. Like the instruction came up that we should give the CDC and the CDA 6% of the total package, 25% for the political office holders, and 15% to the Muslim community, the Christian community, the artisans, and the TBA, and that is exactly what we did. So we didn't do anything contrary to that.
Did you personally distribute?
Sorry, please, I want to confirm.
Yeah, I distributed some of it.
So you obviously gave some to party leaders. Could it be possible that there's
not party leaders.
LCDA?
Like the councillors, the vice chairman.
Senior party member.
So not the party leaders.
Okay. Well, could it be, because the calls that came through, the person had no reason to lie. So could it be that, because when we talk to leaders, they tend to go defensive. This is what happened, without investigating what actually happened. Is it possible that if you investigate further, you might find that one of your leaders within your local government, contrary to what instruction you were giving to them, they were using the APC card to share palliatives? Because the caller wouldn't have been malicious, was just stating a fact. That
Ma'am, I'm telling you today, it is not possible.
Okay.
Nobody would dare do that.
We choose to believe you, sir.
So if you involve the help of people to distribute, can you guarantee that they follow the measures that you put in place to distribute?
Yes.
Yes, with an explanation.
I guarantee they won't do that. They won't even ask for any ID.
But you've not investigated.
Because what happened now, it is not about APC or PDP or ABGA. No.
We get that. We understand that position. But we're saying that what exactly measures did you put in place to ensure nobody flouts this, your order of ensuring everybody gets it? So we don't want you are sure. We want something that is more specific.
Because we call the CDC chairman and all the CDA, and we gave them instruction that, okay, this stimulus package that was given to you guys, this is how the governor wants us to share it. I gave them that instruction, so, and they will not send it now.
Honorable, I would like to hear whether they gave you numbers of truly indigent people within their CDAs, for instance. So if you were giving CDA 1 about maybe 25 bags of food, did they guarantee that they had 25 indigent people? Because this food is not for everybody. It's for those who truly need it.
Also, you know, by your estimate, how many people were reached within Shomolu local government with this palliative? Like the numbers of people that got the palliative, do you have feedback on the specific number? So you know we've reached 100,000, we've reached 10,000. Now we know what next are we doing? They gave us
1,580 bags of rice, 180 bags.
Okay.
And we called all the 1,580. We called all the CDAs. I called all the councillors, the supervising councillors, and I gave them instruction. And I mean, everybody can get the package, but most people that need it get it.
Okay, if you say so.
Everybody can get it, but I'm very sure what I'm trying to debunk is that they didn't ask for any ID from anybody. They didn't ask for any ID.
Honorable, you've debunked it, but you...
Thank you very much, Honorable, for joining us. If you say so, hey. But the point is, I think there are better ways of ensuring that the government follows through on instructions of ensuring that the right people get. And this is what the Honorable Speaker was saying earlier, Wajabi Amelia, saying that we need the law to back it up to ensure that the right people are getting it so that we can prosecute those who are not doing what they're supposed to do.
We need to first define.
Either way,
we need to define who the right people are.
And that's what they did. That's why they were good. According to what the Commissioner for Agriculture told us earlier, was at their meeting, they first of all had that 200,000 initial. Now, how did they come about the 200,000 is something it's in that conversation. But according to them, they were able to identify 200,000 that needed it. And then they were supposed to scale up.
So because if we define who needs it, I can know that my security men and the people that are within, because everybody that lives in my compound, and like I said, I have a lot of northern people that live in front of my house, my compound, that are doing daily work.
Shoemakers and
all of that. They are working. They are Okada riders. They pay taxes every day. Every Okada rider in Lagos pays a tax that goes into the government coffers. They are also eligible because they cannot work within this period. So when we say eligibility and we don't define eligibility, some people will feel like I am eligible and they did not get it because according to the government's definition, they are not eligible. So the loophole of somebody singing, somebody has a smartphone is saying, hey, this is bag of rice, this is one loaf of bread. That person might not be eligible and is getting wrongly.
Most of them
government needs to define who is eligible, who they've captured, and show true pictures. I sell makeup, and we have a way they do it with one of the brands, international brands. When your representative comes to the office, they take a picture of the product and show that I am in the office at this time. So imagine if those that are distributing are made to take pictures of everybody they give products to. We can trace this thing. 200,000 is not too much for us to capture the number.
We have to run off now, but I know that the Commissioner for Agriculture had mentioned that they also, one of the requirements was last round number. So they could trace, because they actually had people to register. They had those of you residing in Lagos State to register. So that was part of the requirement. So I doubt if those security guards have last round numbers.
But they've been paying taxes.
But you'll be shocked. Most of them do
I don't
have.
know, but
Most of them do have, because the last round numbers are still printed in temporary forms, and
Papers.
the numbers are valid. Most of them have, because they also have to register their bikes at the local government, where the last ride is being done in most local governments. I wanted to talk about the councillor party,
LCD.
party members getting this package. Let's be honest, these are not the people we are targeting. It's supposed to be palliative for those who cannot afford.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on this segment. We'll come back, we'll go on to other topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
All right, the Lagos State government gave a mandate that Lagosians stay indoors for 2 weeks in order to curb the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. However, opposites seem to be the case, as streets just look like normal. Traffic is still building up in some parts of Lagos. Markets are going about their business, and people are walking and having exercises on the expressways. Now, aside from Lagos State, other states too, I think Ogun State and Abuja, you see lots of people on the streets, road, just moving on like nothing is happening. And our question is there really a lockdown? And do people truly understand the gravity of why the government is asking us to stay at home? Please, you can call us on 070-80668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so we're seeing some pictures now of people taking advantage of the lockdown. That's Bagada Expressway, and there's see that going on. That's on the Ikorodu Road.
Yes.
People are doing exercise.
Right.
Obviously, there's nothing there that is social distancing.
Yes.
And obviously your sweats and there's a possibility you can
Cough,
actually
sneeze, everything
everybody
spread.
can actually spread.
I really honestly
right
don't think people understand the reason for the lockdown. Many people are just saying this like a public holiday. So that's the thing. The average person on the street is just saying it like a public holiday, and they're just restricting my activities. They're restricting me from having fun. What do we do during public holidays? What do we do when there is a lockdown, not lockdown, public holidays, or you have a environmental sanitation? People hit the road, play football, exercise. That's what people do. So the emphasis, and I know the state governor had been saying it over and over again, social distancing, maybe because we're saying it with touch English. Maybe if they said the social distancing in Yoruba or in other languages, people are not complying with social distancing. I think even the sit at home only worked for day 1 and day 2. After those first 2 days, the road got busy. People were driving, they are going to their markets. So at the end of the day, I'm wondering, what are we trying to achieve with this lockdown? Because my business has suffered entire like 100%. There's nobody doing any party and all of that. Nobody's going out. So only those that are doing food businesses are going out, and they are wondering, what exactly are we trying to achieve? Because if you don't break down the long-term what you want to achieve with this lockdown, people will just feel I can go about my activities as usual.
I blame two parties for this, because I have had an issue with this total lockdown from day one. But the two parties that I blame, number one, is everybody who were on those flights that came into this country, giving you wrong information, being untraceable, number one. Because if we found you, know where you were, it won't spread. We would be able to contain what you have, keep you in isolation, and then contain the spread in the first place. So if you were on that flight, you're equally responsible for what we're going through, number 100%. One. Number two, I also feel that the government was rushed a bit to do that total complete lockdown. I'm thankful it's not national. But Lagos State was important, obviously, because we are the opening state. But I think it was important. I didn't think we needed 14 full days, full weeks. I understand it's because of the virus itself. It needs about 14 to 21 days for it to show, and that's why it was 14 days. But I felt that we didn't need a full, complete, total lockdown. It should have been partial somewhat. But
it's partial right now.
Let me hear.
It's partial.
It is lockdown. Nobody can go to work.
No, the time is partial.
They just recently,
for non-food. All through last week, all through this week. This is already Wednesday.
They just
this
recently,
week, last week, since last week Friday.
They just didn't allow markets to open
Friday.
from 10 to 2 p.m. It was just recent. They just changed that.
We have exceptions. So exceptions were made for essential services
medical.
And foods, and the medical also is essential, and that's basically what happened. But we had Nigerians now, because it's our nature that is killing us, abusing these exceptions. There's a particular biscuits making company along the Oshodi Road. opposite, near the Ladipo, on the express road, I saw their staff bus, the size of a BRT, 3 to 4 of them, you know, putting their staff like matchsticks, matchsticks inside their buses because they're essential foods. They were not observing any kind of social services and social distance. And now we have communal transmission of this virus. And we're dealing with a lot. The government had locked down. On my own side of town, there's total compliance.
Really?
Yes, the trade fair market has been shut down since Lagos State lockdown before the president declared the 2 weeks extra that made Lagos State seem like it's too long. And you can't even go into that market now. The market leaders are insisting that the bridge, which is supposed to be an easement for the people on Satellite Town and the people of, you know, going through the market, is now a market property. So they are refusing to, they are collecting 500 naira daily from cars to turn, to make a U-turn in the trade fair bridge. And I've been witnessing that the weeks. Let me just quickly drop all my details. On that Badagry Expressway axis, there's total compliance. The police are there, but you see people flouting it because police are collecting money from people all the way. This morning I drove on a different route because, you know, the roads are free. You can predict that there won't be traffic. I went through the Festac Okota way. And from Okota to Isolo, you see Nigerians coming out from their houses because these are residential areas, abusing the social distancing rule and jogging and exercising in the name of working out. What do you take a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old child to go do?
Let me take this call, for he's been holding for a while. Yakub, are you there?
Yeah, Murayo.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right now, I'm in Ogun State, C4 precisely. Murayo, I want to say something about what Topper said earlier about palliative measure that government are giving to people. He made mention that the Okada rider are paying their tax. Yes, it's the truth. Murayo, I can tell you for free today in Ogun State, if for precisely, we cannot be able to sleep and our 2 eyes closed. Why? Why? Because those of Okada people that does not see anything doing again, now they are now moving around in midnight, checking your house, telling you whatever you have at home, bring it out. If you don't bring it out, they will break your head or they will do all sorts of things to your wife. So, Morayo, the people that they are telling us the old people should be able to get this food. Not only old people, people that is working for daily bread, that they are stopped now. They were the people supposed, because insecurity now is now right in Ogun State. That is number one. The people that I saw them in television and show them doing exercises and all that. I wonder why they are doing that. Why? Because I don't think they watch Italy and other places that things are going further. But I watch international television, especially Al Jazeera. Morayo, if these people saw what happened in other countries, they will never do all these things they are doing. But I will blame police. Because police allowing them, even in the Infos here, the express road, they will collect money from the motorists and they allow them. If you see people inside Malwa 4 5, they choke themselves together. I always pity Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Yakub. I think that's where we need to make that distinction. You see, I've spoken to a few people, and many feel that we are not Italy. Oh, it hasn't gotten that bad. So let me hang in there. How many people have died here? We don't need to lock down the state because of this. And it's the mentality that will push them to go out and exercise. And that's where I like the fact that Yakub is making us understand. People do not understand. Because yes, you watch international TV and you get the emotions. But here, you don't see that because you feel that nobody, how many people have died?
So, Morayo, I understand that. I can't say they shouldn't exercise. People exercise, even these developed countries that are having these issues, they still allow exercising. It's a social distancing. You're not so close. Why are we 3 on this show? Is that there is enough space between each and every one of us walking, not the crowd. Number one. Number two, between week 4 and week 5, as at week 4, 82% of all the cases in Lagos were imported. But as at week 5, 45% of all the cases in Lagos were communal. What that means in plain English is that those people that were saying as at 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, it is a foreign disease. It is no longer a foreign disease. People that are having it now did not travel. 45% and above, about 45 to 50% of those that are having now had no travel history. So don't think that because I've not traveled before, I am safe. Don't think that because I've not gone anywhere, I am good. people having it now had no travel history. Yes. And so you don't feel, my neighbor did not travel. I did not travel. It's a disease of those that have come back from developed countries.
I have a call from Ghana. Local. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning, Mario.
Morning, go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you, ladies. I've been trying to get through all this time.
Good to have you.
These are your Almighty.
Amen.
I know. First, we talked about the things that I get into because
we're having trouble hearing you.
It's cracking.
It's cracking. Yeah, can you hear?
Yes, speak a bit louder.
That, I mean, the first topic that you talked about concerning the monies that are coming into Nigeria because of this coronavirus.
Yes.
My problem is that our leaders, we have bad leaders, and I'm totally in support of what you say. I am very sure that some of them are heartless at diverting that money to other things. And if they do that, they should expect God to punish them because this is absolutely wrong. Mm. It's absolutely wrong. That money should be used judiciously and not into their pockets. The problem we have in Nigeria today is because of leadership. We practically have no leaders. They are heartless. They don't care about
beyond leadership.
And I pray that the Almighty God will see all of us through in Jesus' name.
Chris, this is beyond leadership.
Let's go on a quick commercial before we come back, because we would like to open our phone lines to Nigerians. We'd like to hear, not just in Lagos State, across, are people observing social distancing? Even if there's a lockdown in your state, are people actually understanding what's going on and then keeping to themselves at home? We'd like you to call us and let us know what's happening within your state. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, as I said, we're going to open our phone lines, but in the meantime, yes, Nima, go ahead.
I wanted to, this morning, after the show, I'm going to be driving to Alimosho because the Commissioner for Health in Lagos State said they'd focus on Etiosa for long. And recently, they've started having communal transmission in Alimosho. My parents live in Alimosho. I'm going to drive through Alimosho, like I partly did on Sunday, but today I'm going to drive just to see how much social distancing is being observed. That's the major problem that we have. A lot of people still think this is a foreign disease. My friend is... Some people are asymptomatic. You can never tell. They will never fall down for this. Some people will go into the hospital like the Oyo State governor and come out fine with black seed oil. But some people would really exhibit symptoms. And those asymptomatics are that they walking time bombs amongst us. They walk past you, nothing is happening to them, and they greet you hi and you're in trouble.
People must understand that what we're doing is mostly precautionary because because people are still looking at our numbers and still saying our numbers are small, and in the other countries, the reason why you see this huge compliance is because of all the fatalities they recorded. So people are, that's the falsehood
we had
that we are passing. Hang in there, that's the falsehood that we're passing, and it's important for us to clarify that so people know that what we're doing is to ensure we don't get to that level. But people think, wait, let us get to that level first. But let me take this call from Ikorodu, I believe, and I'll come to you, Tokwe. Gbemi, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I think for all of us, it's a shock. Somebody said that in my 40 years plus, I've never seen this happen before. You stay at home. And I think I agree with 2 points. One by Murayo, that the government made the lockdown too early. Like now, Lagos is the 3rd week now. It's not 2 weeks, it's the 3rd week.
I disagree.
Then the second point from Tokwe, that maybe they should have done this public alignment in Yoruba, in Igbo, in all that. People don't understand what lockdown means, social distancing means what. Even those are educated, also people are not educated. So maybe they should start doing such enlightenment in our local languages and make it quite much more explicit.
So quickly,
a lot of local languages. A lot of this is already done in local languages, but the focus is on staying at home. We're not breaking down the importance of social distancing and what social distancing means. I would love to visit Mariah's house, but I can protect. I know where I've been. I don't know where she's been. And I have to protect myself because I'm exposing my own family also. That is the idea of social distancing. I could walk to my in-laws' house in Magodo Isheri. My husband and I decided we won't go there. As much as we are bored, we want to go and visit them. We don't know where they've been to. Social distancing is you
don't know who's visited
to yourself.
Let's practicalize it, for example.
Don't visit anybody.
Let's practicalize it, for example. So you're exercising on Ikorodu Road, as we have seen, and somebody does this.
Oh,
It doesn't touch you. It touches your shirt.
It touches your hand.
Or your hand.
And you do like this.
And you do like this.
It's on your body. It's that simple. So stretch your hand.
Yes.
Everybody stays this far apart from you. That's the basic thing. 2 weeks ago, we had just 2 deaths, 2 people dead. Right now, we have 5. We are the ones. It's not the government.
Exactly.
I will blame government where it is necessary.
That is, yes.
It is
That's
us
the part I
Lagosians.
want us to get to.
It is
Because
us Nigerians.
We need to begin to take
We
responsibility.
are the ones bribing the police officers.
Yes.
We are the ones driving our car and paying them.
We are the ones asking for the money.
Let me take this call, then I'll come to you. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, please, engineer.
My name is Engineer Joseph from Kurudu. I'm first-time caller here.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. My problem with this government is that when you make a law, you create a room for people to disobey it. And that is what is happening now. When you say people stay at home, you know that the average Nigeria, they live on daily bread. Now you tell them to stay at home. Then you don't give them food. What would they want them to do? To die for starvation? I heard the River State governor say it's better to starve than to die. But if you are starving, you will die. If you are affected by disease, you die. So people say, okay, instead of me dying silently, so let me go outside. Now, if you go to other countries, I have a sister in London. He said government provides food. He said for their food is not their problem. But here in Nigeria, you are saying the vulnerable. Who is vulnerable? People that are depending on daily bread. If they don't go out to work, will they eat? So why are you saying petition at all? You tell somebody stop, don't ride the car. You don't create a room for him to tell him what to do. At the end of the day, he will start doing something and that is even worse than to car. So when you make a law, you create a room so that people will not disobey it.
Thank you very much, Engineer Joseph, for joining us. I'd like us to, we always talk about what the government is not doing. This morning, for the next few minutes, I'd like us to see, let us look within. What are we doing also to aggravate the efforts the government is trying to put forward? And that's what I'd like our conversation to focus on. Yes, they've not given us enough palliatives. Yes, maybe they've not put into other factors into consideration that we are large families and social distancing might not be implementable within our society. We understand those areas. But what can we do within to consciously understand that we have to ensure we don't spread this virus? And that's what I like to focus on, so that those who are exercising, those who are still engaging in all those community engagements can begin to understand what they must do individually.
You cannot have 5 people trying to buy tomatoes in front of you all squashed together. As the market woman, you want to tell them that, please, I will note you by when you get here, and I will serve you. You can't squash yourselves to buy markets because you are selling essentials. It doesn't mean that everybody, the market is still arranged the same way. What are we really doing? Do we understand that it can spread in the marketplaces too? Okay,
so had we not done this lockdown, and I mean the Lagos State lockdown, at the time they did it, I fear what the numbers would be today. I think we should have done it much earlier. So I want to believe that the government did not act hastily. They did what they did with a lot of calculations, and they did it well. But the Nigerian people, what are we doing? In markets, because of this lockdown, I was able to buy tomatoes. If I had a crowd there, I would not buy. When you pass Abule Ado now, there's a bit of sanity. You can actually ask that, pack that one, put it in a bag, bring out your cash, pay. I don't even wind down. And I did the same thing at Yanoba. I could actually buy because there's no crowding. Imagine that now that they say that essentials are allowed, and me and I can't even visit that.
There's crowding in our area.
And that's an abuse.
There's crowding.
So you can decide that until I find a center place, I will not buy. You can decide, let me move away from that market until there's a bit of, I will not crowd and rush.
Let me take this call.
Maybe when we start to do it ourselves, it will happen.
Monday, thanks for calling from Canada. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Thank you so much. I'm a big fan of you. I do watch your program like almost every other day.
Thank you very much.
At night. Yeah, I want to contribute a bit about regarding this whole COVID thing going on. Like, seriously, I don't know how much our government will really take this serious and make an implement whereby when they make an implementation, the citizen they really need to enforce to make sure the citizen know what it really takes or what they mean by such implementation they are putting on. Most of the citizens don't really know what is this COVID, this virus.
People know.
It seems not to see it as a serious issue.
Yeah, they don't see that.
Here in Canada, the government, when they say lockdown, the government really means lockdown. Everyone is indoors. Only people you can see outside is the essential things. That's when you go outside, you see those essential things to get that, like food, and sometimes maybe toiletries, what is really needed for the house. But aside that, you must stay indoors because that is the only way they can really observe the 14 days signs and symptoms. That way, when there's any, you have any symptoms in the house or where you stay, you call the...
Okay, thank you very much for your input. Somebody was saying that we must be able to marry the society we live in and the issue of the pandemic. Because we always forget that the society, the fact that everybody, there's a huge population that earns their daily earners, for example. And the fact that if they don't go out, hunger will kill them. And they're not just them. They have a family of maybe 12, 15, depending on these daily sales. So when you lock down and you expect these people to stay home for 2 whole weeks, that's why the government had plans for the palliatives. But whether we like it or not, it won't go round. It didn't go round. So now, these people will come out, whether you like it or not, to sell. Because I saw a woman who I buy corn from. She brought out her wares. And I asked her, Madam, you know, I said, I just stayed last week. But when you say, I don't have money, I have to come and sell this week. My family go chop. So when you hear a woman say that,
she's into essential. We are beyond the essential, there's organizer. Your organizer is not essential, but they are daily earners.
They're
Every
essential.
time they pump the tire.
Because the man that is carrying food from point A to point B may have a flat.
Exactly. So, the generator repairer is a daily earner. So in between,
the point I'm trying to make is that whether we like it or not, in the abroad that you're talking about, you don't have vulcanizer on.
So the focus should be on social distancing and hygiene. Social distancing and hygiene. That is, wash your hands, don't stay close to somebody. Cover your nose. Let's domesticate the solution.
Exactly.
So we have in Czech Republic where they didn't create a lockdown. What they did was to say, everybody wear mask. Everybody sanitize. Everybody wash your hands. And they are not even having the peculiarity of our own society. While I understand that, we've already gone beyond that stage. You see, we could have done that model. Immediately this thing, we had just one case. We could have locked down the airports and stopped the importation and locked down. But we're already at a stage now where we have a critical problem on our hands.
I'll come to you. Let me take this call from BC. BC, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Hello, you're live. Go ahead, BC.
Okay, hello. I'm calling from Ikoto.
Go ahead, please.
But I can't hear my voice on TV.
You can't because it's 5 minutes delayed, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'm calling from Ikoto. Here, people are not complying at all.
Wow.
The streets are filled with kids playing all around, and I fear for everybody's lives. Honestly, because the way things are going, I just hope we don't have like a tsunami in Nigeria, because a lot of people are ignorant. I don't know what the government is going to do about it. If it takes them going street by street telling people, because there's no life for people to even watch what's going on TV.
Thank you very much, BC.
We need to let them understand that they need to be indoors. People are all over the streets playing, and they are just scattered everywhere.
Which is what we're trying to say. Thank you very much, BC. I'd like to go back to what Tokwe said, which I think is very vital. And it's important that we can, when I've been saying it since last week, that we should actually domesticate our solution. Obviously, people will come out. But what, like you said, if the local government provide masks for everybody you have to wear a mask. Then you have washing basins across your various local governments. Every maybe 10 meters or 100 meters, sorry, you get about a washing basin, you wash your hands. So people are constantly washing their hands. If we do that, that might even be more helpful than just saying stay at home, because there's hunger in the land.
Even without the hunger,
people must eat.
The exercising people are not hungry. You don't exercise when you're hungry. They are
my
bored.
Own kids,
they are bored.
They've been locked all day. I couldn't take them out into my compound. So I had to bring them up to TBC here, just walk around, run around. Afterward, I ship them back home. But the point is that after a while, you get bored.
So the boredom can be solved with other things. But the ones that are hungry, you can do wash your hand and all of that. But beyond that, Murayo, we have a challenge on our hands. When we now push enforcement agents into the road, what do? They beat people, they scream at them, they push them. We have enforcement issues where there's power display. And we need to curb that too, because if you say, oh, they're disobeying, push soldiers to the road, what you now hear is they beat somebody, they hit somebody's head, and somebody died. So let's find a balance.
Let me just let Nima land her last point.
I wanted to say that, can Nigerians see this as a civic duty where everybody's duty is to protect and preserve the life of the next person?
Right.
So that even when you're selling, you're constantly talking about it. As you're selling your roasted corn, you can also provide a small bucket of water and soap. Yeah. Even if they then have to wash their hands, you'll be doing your own part. Little by little like that will make impact. Yeah. Let's just start small and eventually get there. Fantastic. I blame the local government chairman 2 weeks ago when we were talking with the local government chairman from the island when he said they were distributing sanitizers. And I said, how many washing hand points have you built? Emergency washing hand points within, because you run a local government largely populated by market people. Yeah, how many washing hand points have you? And most of them are not thinking towards it now. So we have water issue. We're dealing with lack of water in most areas, clean, potable water. Can we start to put, small borehole and tanks in areas so people can wash their hands?
Yes. All right, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we talk about those Nigerians that are being evacuated from various countries across the world. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs directed all missions abroad to compile lists of willing nationals who request to come home. This was sequel to the request by Nigerians stranded abroad in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic across the world. Joining us via phone is the chairperson, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa. Good morning, madam. Are you there?
Yes, good morning. How are you, ladies?
Very, very good. Good to have you on the show.
Staying safe?
Yes, we are. Now, so we heard that they've compiled the list and then Nigerians are being evacuated. Could you tell us about that?
I don't want to use the word evacuation. Yes, names are being compiled by the various missions. And as I speak to you, we have well over 1,000 from different parts of the world. The highest number coming from the UK, and the next is the USA. But there are conditions to fulfill. Condition number one, and is according to protocol by the NCDC, condition number one is we expect all of them to get tested for the COVID-19 and they'll be armed with their results that you're negative before you can board, because NCDC and the government has to put into consideration Nigerians here too.
Right.
And apparently from past experiences, NCDC has said when you come in, self-isolate, but most people didn't keep to those instructions. So rule number one, get tested.
Oh, great.
And then you can board. Secondly, is when you do come in, you must go on compulsory 14-day isolation. Again, it's an NCDC protocol. Because even though you may be tested negative, when you do come in, you never can tell. You still have another 14 days when you travel to another location to ensure that you stay safe from everybody.
That 14 days can be in your home, right?
No, it's compulsory. It's compulsory.
Is it in your house, the isolation?
Sorry, the isolation, is it going to be in your house or at the center?
No, it's compulsory isolation. Two options. There are some, we won't name them, some hotels that have agreed to keep them in compulsory isolation. So you're going to have security there to ensure that you don't run away. So you're not going to your home. You're going to that, and you're going to pay for it. If you cannot pay for it, then you go to the government facility. Those are the options we're giving them. So those who can fulfill the options, the government will bring them back. Some are saying when they come back, they want to go home. But from experiences, people have gone home and did not obey laws.
Exactly.
So we're not ready to take those chances according to NCDC. And these are NCDC protocol that we cannot do anything about.
Okay. All right.
It was in the news yesterday that those willing to return will have to foot the bill of their return as well.
We'll have to
foot the bill, buy their tickets to return.
Oh, yes.
So how do you cover for those who are truly stranded for indigent reasons?
You see, it's not even about the ticket. It's more about getting your test done. If you have your test done, and then this is your test, you're negative, and then you cannot come home, we can look out for ways around it. And the tickets will be highly subsidized. The tickets will be very reasonable. We're already working with some airlines to see what is doable. So that is there because we put some options on the table. So it's not about your ticket. First is, are you corona negative? That is the criteria number one. Therefore, those who cannot have, and then most people really, from those who have filled the forms, they traveled for one reason or the other. Some went on vacation, some went for courses, some want their children to come home because like in the UK, the schools are closed for 6 months, so you want your kids to come back to Nigeria. So there are different reasons. However, for those who cannot afford the ticket, we'll profile them, look at them, and see what can be done. But the key criteria is just get your corona test done first.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask you, because if I were in the UK, for example, and I'm told that I have to go through a test before I board, and my test comes out negative, I wouldn't find it funny knowing that even as I arrive, I'll still be locked down for 14 days. Is there still a need for that additional lockdown, especially if you ensure that I give you all the right credentials, my phone numbers, my details, and all that? Well, after being tested, I wouldn't want to be locked down again.
Well, that would be for NCDC to decide. When you arrive, NCDC officials will be there. They'll see your results. They are likely to still test you on arrival. They can tell you to go after 2-3 days. So it's actually not something I can, it's beyond my own competence here. So it's still an NCDC decision. If you come in, you're still going to be tested, or they can look at your results and say, okay, we understand you, go after 1 day or 2 days. But the key thing is, because of the fact that you tell people, oh, go on self-isolation, even if you are tested negative in UK, when you come to Nigeria, you must still isolate for 14 days. I hope you understand that. You're coming to another country. Anything could have happened on air. You don't know what could have happened. You could have been asymptomatic. You may not have shown any signs as at the time you are being tested. So you're going to another country. Or it is your country. Like I said, you may have not shown any symptoms. So for the sake of the people of your own country, it's also important that you take further precautions. So NCDC will take the decision. There are NCDC protocols and they have the final say.
All right. So nationwide, there's been a challenge of getting people tested. And the tests are limited to those that are showing symptoms or have been directly exposed to someone. So when you say before coming back to Nigeria, they should get tested, is the mission in those countries doing anything to facilitate the ease of getting the test done? Because if they just go to the hospital, they might not get the test done to them because people are managing their resources as it is in most of these nations.
My sister, these are trying times of the whole world. In fact, if you have the minister of Foreign Affairs, I think yesterday at the briefing, it's actually advisable that you stay where you are at this point in time until this whole thing is over. That's the general advice. But if you want to come back, you just have to follow those procedures. So it's difficult, but like in the UK, some are offering to do the private testing. It is expensive. It costs money. But if you can afford it, there are private labs to go to. Again, there's free one. There's one you can pay. In Nigeria here, I hope you know you can do a test, but it will cost about $1 million to $1.2 million privately. So you can arm yourself with that. So it depends. So some missions are already putting that together. Like in the UK, some are doing the private testing. Some say it's expensive, but it's not compulsory. And we have some who have said, well, we can help out if there are people who want to do the test. And because it's the time to help one another. It's the time to show love to one another. So yes, the missions are trying their best. But one thing is certain, it's a difficult time for the whole world. This is not why we sit in Nigeria and say, there's a tornado in America, are you okay? We're all asking each other all over the world, are we all okay where we are? So let's understand that it's a difficult time, it's a challenging time, and we just pray that we get over this period.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. That we're speaking with the chairman, the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa. Right. So do we have any tweets on this? Because I know I spoke to a few people abroad and like, no, rather stay here. Don't worry, we are comfortable here. But they are far away in places that haven't had the numbers aren't that high in those areas.
I wanted us to take this so I'll find out what it is around us. Trust is saying, let the government provide power to the people. Trust me, they will stay at home. How will we stay at home without power? Give them internet service and power, and you'll see changes. Yeah, in my area, I dare not complain for fear that they will trace it and find that I'm lying, that I don't have power. I dare not.
You don't have power.
We do have power.
I don't.
I dare not complain that we don't have power in my side.
And I don't, because we have a routine in my area where we share 2 days on, 1 day off.
Okay.
And even the one yesterday, we've all been waiting in the house. Like the entire compound is waiting that, because once the light comes, we can now pump water. We couldn't pump water, and we didn't have light until very late, which is unusual. I'm like, this is our own day to have light, and we still don't have light. But that is the challenge that we're going through. Even the cost of powering the generator is something that we're not putting in play. How much we're spending on food, we're not putting it in play. And I'm thinking about what's the when we are not earning money, because I'm like, I'm not on the show as much. I'm not going to earn money here. I'm not earning money outside, and we're just eating
talking about that,
at home.
Let me tell you what I've even done in my house, because in my house also, I'm not going to lie, we have lights. Honestly, I mean, NEPA has been very, not NEPA, what's the name? Power holding. I mean, these schools, they've been very, very good to us. So I'm really happy. But to preserve what we've done in my house, once a day, we eat once a day. Not like we eat, we cook once a day. Now, the kids can have their regular cereals and bread in the mornings and their oats and all that. But the adults, one meal. Is the leftovers of that meal.
It's a large meal.
You can now, of course, if you cook rice, you cook rice. You now cook stew at Tadindi. Then you eat, that one is ready around there 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Everybody eats. If you want the second round, maybe at 7 p.m. You eat again. By God's grace, there will be small leftover. If you are lucky, by next morning, you can eat that small for breakfast. Because the next food is like 2 o'clock. It's once a day, because until this thing blows over, I'm managing my farm.
And your house has, you have like 10 people
live in my house.
My house was still small, about 5, 6 in my house.
Family of 4. But my champs, the males in my family, then they chop. So watching TV now, I cook 3 times a day. 3 times.
Yes.
Morning, afternoon, night.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
Hello. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please. My name is Henry.
Henry, go ahead, please.
Ijegu. Yeah. Please. I think we are taking this thing for granted. Why? Because Nigeria is filled with secrecy. So one of my friends was asking me a question. The people that died, where did they bury them? Who are their relations?
Cremation.
Yeah, so if Nigerians, the people that is handling this thing, can give us live telecast of what is going on, and people will be seeing it with their eyes, a lot of people will begin to
that will discourage.
As I'm talking to you right now, most Nigerians don't believe we have COVID-19. You understand? So this is one of the problems we are having. The people that is handling this thing, what are they doing to convince people? Now, the issue of palliative. How do you know somebody that is hungry or that needs this palliative? You told everybody to stay at home, and everybody is staying at home. There must be a way to compensate them, to make them stay at home. By the time you're saying, A, stay at home, B, stay at home, and you're giving food to B, A will say you're ignoring him. So why will I be staying at home? So these are some of the things.
Thank you very much.
We have to make Nigerians understand that this thing is serious.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Because after the whole thing, you will see this thing killing people like malaria.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes. So people actually understand. People understand that is. I don't think that you need to see people's faces to know it is serious. Yesterday, thankfully, one of the people came out. Your conversation yesterday was with one of the survivors from coronavirus, and she explained the situation she went through. So let's not doubt it anymore.
But people ask, this is Anna she's agreeing with the last caller, Henry. I think Lagos State government should start posting videos of people struggling to survive this virus in the hospital on the media on a regular basis, so that people will understand what this is.
People want to see gory details.
Gory details from Italy is why I do not want to be in that
you don't want to sound insensitive, but the truth is that those are the visual emotions that people are seeing internationally that are making them, but those don't have access to those international media. And in their house thinking, this is a ruse.
Nothing. So the government needs to bring those details out.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on the show. Don't forget, please, in the bid to protect and contain it, wash your hands as often as you can. Also maintain social distancing and avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.